Hi, I'm Adam Burgess, JCB sponsored canoe slalom athlete. Got a really exciting day ahead with Aston Martin Formula One. Really looking forward to later spending a bit of time with Sebastian Vettel, talking a bit about the sort of split-second decisions that we're both making out there when we're performing. So follow me inside, let's get going. This stuff that I was really interested to talk to you about is sort of like my outfitting. I have to make myself to fit me.
What do you mean you have to make it? Like, what do you put?
I have these moulders, so these are my knees. I have this seat, and my feet come in just under here. I guess it's like similar for you. An engineer can come and say, you know, we think you should be sat here. I was interested to basically hear how much kind of input you would get into that. If you try it and you'll say, well, no, it doesn't feel right to me, but the engineer is saying it's faster.
Yeah, it's an important point. I mean, it's like, nowadays we're so data-driven. You're the only one experiencing how it feels.
Yeah.
And if you don't feel comfortable, then you're losing time. Maybe a bit similar, I don't know, I feel as, you know, there are definitely similarities, choosing the line, anticipating, you know, with you have the changing element of the water, we have the changing element of tires are different.
Drivers as well, people.
Driving styles, you can do so much still. That's why I feel it's very important that you feel comfortable, because you don't have that comfort. If you don't have the comfort, you don't have the trust. If you don't have the trust, you don't dare to go higher speed into the corner or tackling the next corner.
You know, just finding the middle.
Yeah.
So finding that bit out is really difficult.
We do everything with lasers.
Yeah.
So we take the 3D model and then you just get the exact point.
Yeah. How do I know if something's better, or am I just having a really good day on the water?
Yeah, plus the measuring is really difficult because your surface is wobbly. So you could also say you stay the same and you adapt the boat. Okay, there's limits, but then what is the better way? That's you know, you probably never end.
It's an impossible question
for
sure. Aside from the equipment, I sense that you're really interested in the human performance side. I'm really interested in that, you know, how you prepare yourself and to make sure that when you're on the track, you're on the grid, you can hit it hard. And
I think, you know, I don't want to sound silly, but I think the first thing, if you're happy in general, that's a big plus. Yeah. Because that just means you're in a good place already. I don't know, if I got to a level for myself where I was happy with, do I have all the answers? Then if I could answer that question with sort of yes, then it was also easier to just be in the moment, if you see what I mean. I always like to measure things, which, you know, in sports like yours, it's very difficult to measure. I always found measuring was really interesting, but there's a limit to it. Yeah. Because there's also the element of just trusting yourself or listening to your own body. Not to panic when you see everybody else rocking the times and like, shh, how am I going to do that? Yeah. But then knowing and trusting that you're going to get there. So I think in the end, a lot of it always gets decided in the head, you know.
Oh yeah.
You know that as well. So
when you realize how many things you could control, that's terrifying. So I try to think about, I rephrase it as like, I try to control one thing.
But that's what I meant earlier. I find it is a mixture. So you have the experience, you have the practice, but then you can also get to a point where you're overthinking it. Yeah. I find the best of both worlds if you're able to combine them. One is to know actively where you need to go, position yourself, your boat, your body, and so on. But then the second one is just intuition takes over and it just happens. And that then sometimes you struggle to explain to somebody what you just did. You just, I just did it that way. But if you stress too much, then you're taking too much of the instinct side away. So I think it needs to be in balance. Yeah, it's an interesting journey that I've been on the last few years, probably from a bit too much to come to a point of like, trust my body, trust the skills. And that, now it's just about where I'm looking. What's my intention in that moment? It's been a really interesting day. Blown away by, you know, how chilled out, how normal a guy he is, and how easy he is to speak to, and it's really got my mind ticking on you know, how we can make some improvements. I'm really happy with what we've done today.